world your way, and I'm not ashamed to say so. I see the Jesus way, and I'm walking in the light.
Hi, I'm Richard England, Vicar of Crofton Parish. Welcome to the third in a short series of videos introducing our 2020 vision. In this video, we're going to consider what our purpose is as a church, both as a local parish church, a local mission centre, and as a resourcing church with a wider responsibility to help people work out what following Jesus is wherever they live, work and play. What is it that we are called to do? Is there a way that we could summarise our purpose? In order to help us do this, I want to read a few verses to you from the Gospel of Matthew. They will be some verses that will be familiar to many of you. They're from the end of Matthew 28. They're often called the Great Commission. This is Matthew 28, verses 18 to 20. Then Jesus came to them and said, "All authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me. Therefore, go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit, and teaching them to obey everything I have commanded you. And surely I am with you always, to the very end of the age." In our society, we often think that a Christian is simply a churchgoer, someone who goes to church on a Sunday. Or we think that a Christian is synonymous with being a good person, someone that tries to live their life in a particularly moral or virtuous way. While both of those things are good, they don't really sum up what it means to be a Christian. Essentially, a Christian is someone who believes in Jesus Christ, who has a relationship with God through Jesus. And not only someone who believes in Jesus, someone who follows Jesus, someone who believes in him and also becomes more like him. The word the New Testament uses to describe this is a Christian is someone who is a disciple of Jesus. The very word Christian means little Christ. And the word disciple means almost apprentice, a student. The image is of someone who is apprenticed to a great master or a great teacher who spends so much time with them that they learn to live life like their master. They become more like their master. In the Bible passage we looked at in our previous video in 1 Thessalonians chapter 1, Paul says of the church in Thessalonica that they became imitators of him and of the Lord. What a great picture that is of a disciple, someone who is an imitator of Jesus. So our job is to help people become disciples, to help people become followers of Jesus. We might describe it like this, that as Crofton Parish, our purpose is to help individuals and households to take steps into a deeper relationship with Jesus wherever they start from. This is the second of the three big ideas that are going to shape our life together as a parish for the next few years and beyond. That our purpose is to help individuals and households take steps into a deeper relationship with Jesus Christ wherever they start from. I want to explore that phrase, I want to explore three aspects of that with you. The first is this idea of helping people take steps into a deeper relationship with Jesus. Discipleship, walking with Jesus, following Jesus is so often pictured as a journey. The first thing that Jesus said to his disciples was, "Come and follow me, and I will make you fishers of people." And then as we've just read, he finished with, "Go and make disciples of all nations." The disciples that they will make will hear the call to come and follow themselves. Then they too will go and make disciples. And so the cycle continues. And all of it involves taking steps to follow, to come, to follow, taking steps to go and make. And each day Jesus calls us to again take a step further in our relationship with him. That's why so often on Sundays, after in our services, we give people opportunities to respond in worship, to respond to what they've heard in the talk. That's why we think that community groups, small groups, home groups are so important, because they're places together where we can explore in practical ways what following Jesus looks like, what it means to take steps into a deeper relationship with him. But we also understand that people take those steps not just in isolation, not just on their own, but that we all arrive in church, we all follow Jesus and work out our relationship with him in relationship with others. If you're married, it will be with your spouse, with your partner. If you have a family, it will be with your children, it will be with your parents, it will be those with whom you live. So that's why we talk about, we want to help individuals and households take steps into a deeper relationship with Jesus. We want to learn what it means to follow Jesus together, both as individuals, but as the communities, the friendship groups, the households within which we operate, that we might all grow in our faith together. But we also understand, of course, that people arrive and begin this journey from very different places. Some people come back to one of our churches having been involved in church, having some form of faith previously. For them, it is coming back. But others arrive for the first time with no experience of this whatsoever. On our Alpha course that we've just recently completed, we had both kinds of groups of people. We had people coming on Alpha because maybe they'd gone to church a bit over the years and they wanted to know more, or maybe they had once gone to church in the past and they were just reconnecting, picking up that relationship with God again. But we also had people that had no background in church going, no background, no faith whatsoever. They were exploring it all for the first time. That's why it's so important that in both our churches we be sensitive to the fact that people arrive in our community from lots of different places. So our job is to understand people wherever they start from, and to be able to reach out and help them begin that journey wherever they start from. So we talk about our churches being churches that are for people who go to church and for people that have never been to church before. We try quite hard, particularly in our Sunday morning services, to make sure that people, even people who walk in the door for the very first time, can understand something of what's going on, can engage with something of what's happening, because we want to help people begin that journey of a relationship with Jesus wherever they start from. In the next video, we're going to be thinking about the third big idea that's going to shape our life together, and it's a big one. I do hope you'll join me for that.
I see the world your way, and I'm not afraid to follow. I see the world your way, and I'm not ashamed to say so. I see the Jesus way, and I'm walking in the